Hollywood is a place that has no shortage of no-talent hacks posing as make-believe artists while making millions of dollars and being called revolutionary for precisely nothing. But if there was ever a Mount Rushmore, you know what, let's call it more for the modern times, one of the people who'd surely belong there would be Awkwafina. How'd I get to that conclusion? Well, I recently watched a cluster of a movie which is apparently a summer popcorn flick which would make you wish your popcorn was laced with cyanide. Jackpot, starring John Cena and Awkwafina in roles similar to most other roles they've taken up in the past. I know that it released a good while back, but I tried my best to push it off to another time. But after what was a terrible Sunday, I was like, you know what? It. How bad could it be? And guess what? It was. In fact, it was so bad, I almost turned a leftist. Now, Cena is just trying to emulate Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's monumental success in Hollywood post-wrestling career, which is a topic for another time. But the real shocker was that the actual star of the movie was Miss Talent herself, Awkwafina, who in the movie saves this big muscular ex-army hired gun from certain doom and saves the day. The movie had all the new gen Hollywood elements like being woke, being preachy, having a strong female lead who is nigh invulnerable, and a plot that is as generic as it can possibly get. And the end result was a migraine so severe you'd think you have one of those MI3 type brain exploding chips inside you. And that got me thinking about Awkwafina, because I realized after watching this shit show that she is an Asian Pedro Pascal, because suddenly she's everywhere. The MCU, movies with A-listers, TV shows, reality shows, talk shows, it's like Hollywood is obsessed with her lack of creativity. But before I go any further, let me clarify, because although it might sound to some like I hate her and this is a hit piece, I assure you it's not. Because if I was as void of any actual talent as her and got all the opportunities she does, I'd take them too in a heartbeat. Now, Awkwafina, how did she come up with that stage name, I wonder?
You never know how these nicknames get started. His name was Joe, maybe one day he said he was cold, who knows?
Maybe she's always been awkward and she said it's fine being that way, who knows. She's been listed as an actress.
It says parking anytime.
That says no parking anytime.
Where do you see the no?
On the sign, it says no parking anytime.
A comedian.
Some of my friends were like, oh, you're in movies now, dude, you must be loaded. Which is not true. I am not a crazy rich Asian. I'm more like a rebuilding my credit Asian.
And a rapper.
Remember the swamp? Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, wham, and go wham, wham.
On Wikipedia.
Wikipedia? You're using Wikipedia as your source of information?
I know, younger, stunning Henry, I know. But she burst onto the scene. Who am I kidding? She never burst onto anything. She just made a god-awful song all the way back in 2012 named My Vag, which basically told the whole world how her lady parts are superior. But why? We never got the answer. And mind you, that wasn't even an original song. It was a cheap knockoff of a song called My Dick by Mickey Avalon. And after that abomination, Awkwafina moved on to bigger and worse things like her own damn album. It was very clear from the get-go that she realized there's no such thing as bad publicity and tried to capitalize on the stupidity of the teenagers of the West. And it was evident that the cringier she got, the more eyeballs she could draw. If you ever want to bleed from your ears and torture yourself with so-called songs produced to the moon and back with absolutely no soul, listen to Awkwafina's album Yellow Ranger, which might as well be called Yellow Shite.
Bitches like in danger. Saber tooth saga, I'm a motherfucking Yellow Ranger.
And for some insane reason, she was able to get an acting gig in the MTV series Girl Code after releasing the monstrosity that her album was. And turns out her personality or lack thereof fit perfectly with the over-the-top caricaturish portrayal of women or girls rather in the show. And her acting turned out to be exactly as her rapping. It was superfluous amount of body humor which certainly wasn't humorous. Her god-awful rap was there in droves, all sorts of weird and shoddy outfits, with colors even Mother Nature would be appalled by, and this is where it looks like she formed a certain persona. Which was almost a decade ago by the way, which she somehow managed to devolve and has held on to this day. After Girl Code, Awkwafina was suddenly Hollywood's go-to pick for strong Asian female representation. Even though her great-grandfather has been in the United States since the 1940s. I guess it's easier to sell homegrown shit. Movies, television projects, award ceremonies, magazine covers, primetime talk shows, Awkwafina was everywhere. And as and when her popularity grew, so did her degeneracy. Her filmography indicates that she has appeared in a total of 30 movies. But if you've had the misfortune of seeing more than 2, you'd realize that she's essentially played herself in all of her projects. And unfortunately, she doesn't have Ryan Reynolds' personality.
How do you explain that?
That statement doesn't seem to hold much merit anymore, does it? Never fucking mind. So watching her be herself film after film seems like a death sentence. It's the same old shitty persona that's been a part of her gig for a decade. A weird made-up hunchback walk, expressions that make her seem like she has diarrhea and constipation at the same time, and a fake raspy voice that cannot possibly get more irritating. It's not just a disgusting lack of improvements over the years. Her entire shtick is one that's cringe-inducing and hollow. And for some insane reason, she has now become the face of the Asian ethnicity in Hollywood. It's another age-old insult by Tinseltown where they typecast races and make caricatures out of anyone who's not a white person and try to push it down our throats as if it's inclusivity. The only thing worse is that Awkwafina, who at this stage in her career could put in some effort and actually do better work and bring some honor and prestige to her heritage, is just reaping the benefits of the soullessness of the money-hungry studios pretending to be worried about making an actual change. So she has just as big of a hand in the Asian stereotyping as the people in charge, since she's the quote-unquote face of it. I'm 100% sure that somewhere, somehow, a woke person is offended by this factual reality, but then again, it means it's just another Tuesday because these days, you cannot be objectively right about anything without offending a bunch of people. Let me make it clear, she does not represent art in any conceivable way. So now for the $1,000,000 question, why is she still getting all these high-profile roles in big-budget movies? That should have given most people their answers, but for those who didn't understand, let me spell it out for you. Hollywood doesn't care. It's not about passionate movie making anymore. Most projects greenlit by big studios are soulless, nostalgia-baiting cash grabs. They try to play it as safe as possible in every conceivable way. Same old stories but with an ugly paint of rainbow. Tried and tested generic tropes that have been failing time and time again. But Hollywood doesn't seem like it's gonna give up anytime soon. And casting people that fit the demographic of exclusive inclusivity in the best way possible, or was it the worst? And that is what Awkwafina represents. Modern Hollywood. But in all fairness, Awkwafina gives me hope that even a person with no talent, charisma, and any actual ability to entertain can make it big in the entertainment industry. That's it for today, guys. I'm gonna go eat a peanut butter sandwich.